This next one, and I'm going to tell you, we got a ton of questions all of a sudden about Vince McMahon the last several weeks. So let's read a few of them. This one was sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Clint in Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada. I love the shows and listen every week. Keep up the great work. You're sitting in Castle Cornette one day, and the phone rings.
Oh, boy, a lot of problems start with that.
The caller ID says Vince McMahon. You answer, and Vince says, Jim, my product has been in the shitter for a long time now. Can you give me 5 things which will improve my ratings, popularity, and overall quality? Sounds like a Vince sentence if I've ever heard one.
Yes.
What would you suggest?
I'd suggest, what's the questioner's name?
Clint in Campbell River, British Columbia, Canada.
Clint, I suggest the same thing that I would suggest to Vince, to you. Send me $100,000 in small unmarked bills and I'll do the work to come up with the answer to that question. But right off the top of my head, we talk about it. There's no quantifiable 5 things or whatever, but we talk about it every week. Not only does nobody believe this shit anymore, they don't believe the people involved in this shit. And the program that they're putting on in the WWE with the people that nobody believes in or cares about is also boring. And it's fucking homogenized and pasteurized and cleaned up and scrubbed up, and everybody, all the talent for the most part, except the few that stand out, try to work the same way and talk the same way because they're written for the same way and they're trained the same way. And the creative sucks because it's not anything anybody gives a shit about. It's these hokey fucking entertainment stories. If all you need to give wrestlers is a believable reason to be mad at each other. You don't need to have 16 writers concocting a goddamn full-length feature motion picture backstory. Just make it something that people can get into and then let them go out and say some shit and do some shit on their own. Like we used to, Vince. You know, but the advice that I would give him to make a better wrestling product would probably be the antithesis of what the homogenized, pasteurized entity in corporate America that is going to purchase this thing and turn it into a goddamn Cirque du Soleil theme park would want to begin with. They don't care about what wrestling fans want to see. And they somewhat consider themselves the only game in town, which they used to be and kind of still are on a worldwide basis. And they're not going to change it, because to change it would be to offend some sponsors because something was real enough and somebody got a little upset or somebody said something they shouldn't say. It would be to fire 3/4 of the creative team and just let the boys find some guys that can do their own shit and then let them do it. They don't want to do any of that stuff that would make the product easier for wrestling fans to watch. They have, I guess, cornered the market on the amount of people that are going to watch boring sports entertainment, and they're serving those people well, and they're getting big contracts from the networks without doing a good show that needs to sell any tickets or draw any massive ratings. So why the fuck would he listen? Plus, how long do you think that Vince is going to be? I don't know why he would be looking any far. How old is he now? Is he 77?
I'll check the exact age.
Why is he looking farther than 3 years down the road? He knows he's going to sell it by then. He probably wants to put his last imprint on the thing by fucking up NXT and training the next year or two's worth of guys to all be 90s cartoon WWF Saturday morning syndication bullshit gimmicks.
76.
Okay, so he's got maybe 4 years before he's 80. And then he's communicating through a tube that's stuck through his left nostril. And he has to blow out boogers with messages for the fucking staff.
This has been Jim Cornette's advice for Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I don't know what the... That's what I'm saying. A long time before I am 76 years old, you will not be seeing or hearing from my fucking formerly fat white ass anymore.
Here would be my advice. Find some new friends. Also, go out and meet somebody and do something. Do something away from all this. Go to a movie. Do something else. Those are my pieces of advice.
I can't see Vince McMahon getting in his car and driving down the road to a movie theater and going up and buying a ticket and just walking in and seeing a movie. I'm trying to imagine that, and I can see in my mind's eye more clearly and believably the Venusians landing and forcing all of us to give them their rim jobs than see Vince McMahon just go to a movie one afternoon. You know those Venusians are big on the rim jobs.
You said their rim jobs like it's
well, they're
already known
to them. That's their thing. You know them Venusians and their rim jobs. I'll tell you what. Nothing better.
Getting from Jeff Hardy to the 86 Mets is no longer the wildest transition mid-subject here on the show. Getting from Vince McMahon to Venusian rim jobs definitely wins now. This has been advice for Vince McMahon.
Yes, I don't know what to tell him. I don't know what to tell him anymore. The whole thing's shot anyway. The whole thing, we can't get the wrestling back. It's just a varying degree of how offensive is the sports entertainment going to be.